Well, John, thanks for your time. We'll get into your team news and look ahead to the game in a second, but first of all, some good news regarding a young player getting his new contract in Harvey Barron, a 2-year deal. Give us your reaction to that, first of all.
Yeah, really excited for the club and for Harvey. He's a local boy, still very young. He's come through our junior system, and it's a great story for every kid that wants to ever play for Hull FC, and also great for Harvey and his family.
New player for you, obviously you're still just getting used to him, but you've seen him a few months now. What stood out with him for you?
His size, he's got a lot of athletic ability. He's very fast. He's a sponge, and he's got plenty of football nous about him. So he's a complete package. But I suppose the beauty for us as a club is that he's got a lot of improvement left in him.
Is it pleasing for you to see as well that maybe a player that's hopefully not been scarred by what's gone before, in terms of particularly that tough season last year?
Yeah, you generally find the younger generation get over things pretty quickly, so it's all about what we've been able to do, or, we're only a game in, so what we can do this year. He would have learned a hell of a lot last year, physically and mentally, and he started the year really well, so, we can only gauge on what we've seen so far, and he's been very good.
And for all it's great to get the likes of a John Asiata players at that end of the career in, how important is it to be able to develop and see the progress of players like that? Yeah,
well, when you rebuild a club, you need experience. You can't rely. What's going to bring these younger guys around quicker is experience around them. So the recruiting that was done was specific. It had there was a plan behind it, and that is to provide experience for the younger players that we have and that we're going to get.
Good news on him. Let's move on and look at your squad fitness and injuries and things. First of all, how's Jed doing with his hamstring?
He'll be out for a couple of weeks. He's got a low level strain, but it is a strain. So it's hard to gauge with a hamstring, but it's not a bad one. So we're hoping that he'll be back sooner rather than later.
So a couple of weeks is your time.
Hopefully, mate. Yeah.
Okay. And Amir, with his HIA, how's he looking at this stage of the week?
Well, that's sort of out of our hands. He's got to tick some boxes between now and when we pick a side next week. So he's good. I spoke to him this morning. He's in good spirits. He's got a clear head at the moment, so hopefully he'll only be the week.
Yeah, I was going to say, does it make it trickier with it being that 6-day turnaround as well?
No, because he'll miss the 11 days, 12 days, and then he's available. If he passes his test, he'll be available.
Of course, it's the
yeah.
On that one. Jack Ashworth, he's got to go through another test. How's he looking?
Yeah, he's not real well. He's got a bit of a bug at the moment, so on the back of his head knock, he'll be in some doubt.
Okay. In terms of a couple of others, Ed Chamberlain and his ankle.
Yeah, he'll be right. He's full training this week. He's trained the last 2 days, so he'll be available for selection.
Okay. Will he be in the squad? You've obviously got a couple of squad places opened up there.
Yeah, we'll sit down as a coaching staff and we'll sort that out.
Okay. And Oliver Holmes?
No, he won't be available. He's still carrying a bit of a knee.
How far away do you feel?
Don't know. He'll see a specialist this week, so we'll have a bit of an idea once he sees a specialist.
Okay, we'll wish him well with that. Who else comes into your thinking then for this week? Anyone into contention?
Not outside the 19 that we took to down to Catalans for the game. Like I said, I'll sit down with the coaches. We've trained today. We always get through that day and assess everyone's health, and then we'll pick a side.
Okay. There's been some punishments handed out this week as well as everyone gets used to the new system. What's your reaction to the charges that you have had?
Yeah, well, it is what it is. So you just got to deal with them now. They seem pretty severe on the just sort of looking at some things that happened, but that's it moving forward. So we know what the line in the sand is. You just got to be disciplined.
Can I just clarify on Jordan Lane again? Talk about trying to get used to the system. Jordan Lane, a 5-point that comes with a suspension. Is that?
No, he's not suspended. Yeah, you get 6 points. You get a suspension.
Which is what I thought. Sorry, I've misread something I'd seen where I thought it came with a ban on that one.
No, it all depends how many points you have against you.
Yeah, that's fine. As far as any arguments with the one that's been handed to him?
Not with the way the rules are. You've got a responsibility to take care of the player that you tackle. Unfortunately, the player came down onto his head, and then that falls into the responsibility of the guy making the tackle. It was a total accident, so I really feel for Laney.
On him getting his try as well on his 150th, how pleasing for him to mark that and start things off that.
Yeah, really well deserved. So impressed by him since I've been here. Just the ultimate professional. Trains hard. He's fit. He's a good teammate. Local boy. So for me, yeah, he's a gem.
Yeah. Let me just talk about a few other individuals as well. How strong a performance from Cade Cuss?
Yeah, he was super. With your halves, you need them to be dominant like that every week. So you're not always going to score 2 tries and probably responsible for Jordan's try as well. But, he's always on the ball, and if there's an opportunity, he'll take it. So really happy for him. I've known him a long time, and he's a very good player, Cade. And, I'm sure he's going to have a consistent year for us.
How big an impact did Aiden Caesar's kicking game make for you as well?
Yeah, he led us. Your kicking game's so important, and he led us around the field. He got us out of trouble. He came up with a try assist, and he put them into some tough situations to get the ball out of their own end. So his kicking game, and that's him every week. He's one of the reasons we got him here was for his strong kicking game.
On the other side of the ball, though, should there be some credit for his defensive effort as well?
Yeah, I think defensive efforts are normally, team related, and I thought the team worked really well together. They were in sync. There's some really good decisions made on the edges, and Aiden was part of that.
Big performance from Johnny Asiata, probably goes without saying, but how well did he use the ball as well to help you get moving in that game?
Yeah, he sums up a game very well, Johnny. It's if the side's there to play through, he generally picks up on that pretty quickly. If he sees space on the edges, he's also very good at getting the ball to the space. So again, the big reason why we got him here was his ball playing ability and his experience.
Obviously spoken about Harvey and his new deal, but in terms of your 2 young wingers, how impressed were you with them, and how much maturity did they show in that performance as well?
Yeah, they played tough. It's not a difficult role that they've got. It's to get the side going forward, but that's easier said than done. They're a very big, aggressive pack of forwards. Who are out for blood, and those 2 guys took them on from the first minute right through to the 80th minute. But their challenge will be, it's probably a tougher opponent this week in the champions. So it's. I was really happy with them last week, but that's gone now, and we need that same type of effort from them this week.
Have you had a conversation with them, and what's that message then in terms of dealing with that kind of opponent this time?
Yeah, well, like I said, there's no hiding what their job is. If you only got to turn on the TV to see it, so it's probably the opposition will be a little bit more aware. They've got to be same. They've got to roll their sleeves up and make sure their last run is as hard as their first run, and let the opposition know that they're going to keep bringing the ball to them.
At the other end of the scale, how much does it help having the experienced heads alongside them with what Zach and Tom can do to guide them through some of that as well?
Oh, I think it's enormous. I thought Zach and Tom were outstanding the other night, not just with ball in hand. I thought just their composure, their communication in and around when the side was under a lot of pressure. Like I say, that is a team effort, but within that you've got guys like those 2 who voice a reason, and to have the 2 young guys around them is a real bonus.
I want to take it away from the team for a second and ask about you personally. What did it mean to you to coach and get your first win as a Super League head coach?
Oh, look, personally, a great satisfaction. It's a hard job. If you're just in coaching to win every game, you won't. Well, there's not a coach in the world who does that. So you spend a lot of your time kicking stones and wondering where you can get better. So for that, I was more than just happy for the players. They've been a really tough couple of years for them. I weren't given much of a chance to win down there. So for their confidence and just to help them, realise that winning is something that's it's hard to do, but it's also very enjoyable when you get there. So it was just good to see the smiles on their faces.
When you look at your career, you're certainly not going to be judged by just one season as a player in Super League and then whatever you do now as a coach. But 28 years on from that one season in Super League, when you think about it, you had a chance to reflect on what you've done to get to this point where the new stage of your career as a Super League head coach?
Not really. I always look at myself as lucky to do what I do. Yeah, there's tough times, but there's tough times in everything. The majority of time is outside, working with young guys who want to get better, who want to learn, who want to win, and doing a sport that I love. So for me, I just consider myself lucky to be doing what I'm doing.
You can often only be as good as what you've got around you, not just with players, but with coaching staff as well. You credited both Simon and Andy last week. What noticeable things have they done to make your transition into this job more comfortable?
I can feel trust when I'm with them from the very first moment I met them, and that's probably more important than anything. They know the game. They're very hard working. They're good guys to bounce things off. I got nothing but positive things to say about those two boys and the whole staff in general, to be honest with you.
Simon had to deal with a lot last year, particularly having to step up and act as head coach for a big part of the season. In terms of him, how much did he need last week to eliminate all the memories of last season, do you think?
Yeah, he had a big smile on his face, as you can imagine. It was hard watching for him. I certainly felt for him last year, going through what the whole side and the whole club went through. But a lot of, like I said after the game, it's a totally new experience here now. We new owners, new players, facilities upgraded, all that sort of stuff. So we're really happy with what turning up to work and having what we have.
I was going to pick up on that because you said to Richard Stead over in France after the game that you were going into the unknown, not knowing fully what to expect. So, in reflection, what did you learn from it?
As far as getting to work?
As far as that first game and what you maybe got from your side, because until you actually play that first competitive league game, you like you said, you never truly know what you're going to get.
No, I was just happy with their courage and their grit. Like I said, we certainly weren't favourites to win down there. It was away from home, pretty hostile environment. And not many pundits gave us a chance. So it was, football-wise, I suppose the thing that pleases me most is that we've got a lot of improvement in us football-wise. But you don't just win games on how good you are with the football. There's a lot of things go around it. And I thought in those areas we were really strong. They never gave up. They started strong. They didn't take any. They were a physical side. They didn't take anything from the opposition. In fact, they kept coming forward at them. And whatever you got that, your footy's going to keep improving. You're going to win games.
Was there anything that surprised you, or anything that reaffirmed what you already knew about your side going into that?
Like you said earlier, I didn't really know what to expect. The real heat of the battle and know where you're at is when you're playing for two competition points. So that was our first time at it. Look, the trials, there was some good stuff in and around the trials. Training has been really impressive. The guys have been pushing each other and trying hard, but the first real go when it was, there were real bullets coming at us, I was really impressed.
As much as you're one of the teams that will have to go there again in about 3 months' time at the end of May, was it good to get that one out of the way at the start of the season for them?
It's always good to get your first win. You've got 3 months to get ready for it, so there's sort of 6 disappointed teams out there now. We had 3 months to get ready for that game, so at least we don't have to worry about where that next win's coming from. But there's pressure every week. It's a pretty cutthroat business we're in, and results are what count. So they don't get any harder than this week.
As a rugby guy in general, away from just your team, what did you make of round one as a whole?
I was really impressed with the quality. I thought the crowds in general were strong right across the board. And the top teams, as normal, were very strong. Wigan got rolled, but it was a really tough physical game. St Helens, it's hard to judge, but they looked very physical, fast. There was a couple of surprises there with Lee getting up and Leeds getting rolled. So it was a bit of a mixed sort of round, but the main thing I'm sort of worried about is us, and I was happy with the way we performed.
Just on that Wigan League game, how much did you enjoy it? There's been a lot of mixed views about that game, and it's easy to judge on the scoreline, but how much did you enjoy it?
I really enjoyed it. I thought there was a lot of desperation. There was opportunities to score points. There was just, you got to appreciate the resolve of both teams to protect their try lines. I think that's just as important as being able to score tries.
We saw a couple of golden points there, and with your rivals as well. Are you in favour of it?
I've never been a fan of the golden point. I can see why it's there. The fans love it, and everyone wants to walk out and have their team win. But I feel for players who go 80 minutes and they go at each other for 80 minutes and it's a draw to get the point each. That wouldn't bother me either.
Should there be a reward for both teams and then a bonus point for a winner in that game?
Look, there's all different scenarios. There's a couple of different scenarios, I suppose, and whatever they choose, there's going to be some people happy, some people not happy. I'm happy with the 1 point each.
You're no stranger to Captain's Challenge coming from the NRL anyway. Are you in favour of it being introduced from Super League?
Yeah, just hopefully they can speed up the decisions a little bit. There was a lot of... I understand there was a bit of a language barrier problem over there, and that may have been part of the issue, but if it's too long, people... I think they're over 50 minutes for a half of footy, both halves of footy down there. So if it's too long, people will get pretty fed up with it pretty quickly.
Before I ask you about the Wigan game, from a personal point of view as well, not just as someone within the game, the Salford situation's caused a lot of discussion. You've got a personal connection to that club as well. How do you see what's gone on there this weekend?
Look, I don't know the ins and outs, so it's hard for me to comment. I don't think anyone knows other than the people at Salford and probably the people at the British Rugby League. So it's not good for the game, is it? Let's face it. Let's just hope they can get their best players in the field and sooner rather than later. That was the biggest thing, wasn't it? How bad was it when you're trying to get eyes on the game on terrestrial TV? Yeah, it's not. As I said, it's not a good look for the game. It's unfortunate, and hopefully they get a resolution pretty quick. Yeah, hopefully so. Let's talk about this. How much are you looking forward to your first home game in charge? Yeah, really excited. I know there's going to be a decent sized crowd out there waiting for us. It's a bit funny one because we don't train here, so it's going to be new for a lot of the players as well, playing in a whole jersey. So excited for them and excited for the fans. I can't wait to feel the atmosphere Friday. What expectations do you have of that home crowd and the support you'll get? Look, as long as we give them something to cheer for, I'm sure they're going to be really loud and boisterous. And that's what you want from your home crowd. If there's 50-50 decisions out there to be made, that's when hopefully the crowd get involved. I'm just looking forward to it. I've heard all about our home fans, and I've met a lot of them, but not all in the one stadium with 18,000 there, hopefully. So really excited about it, and hopefully we can put a show on for them. What sort of Wigan do you expect to turn up in week 2? Wigan play the same from what I've seen every week. They were very tough. They didn't win last week, but they played tough. They're competitive. They don't give away nothing. They never give in. So they win. They make winning a habit, and only good teams do that. They've got a great history, great culture. They're going to be really tough to beat. Because of that kind of spirit they've got coming in as champions, but losing the last one in the manner that they did, would you expect a strong response because of that? Oh, there will be, and I wouldn't expect anything less from them either. You watch it; they're competitive every time they play. They must have a really good, strong leadership group, strong coaching group, and they play for a great club. It's a lot of success around them, and they're sort of carrying it on as well. Lee showed a way of containing some of their key players in there. Do you see things you can take from that as well? Yes and no. Every side's a little bit rusty at the start of the year. I'm sure they're going to be a little bit better in everything they do. So that's our challenge. It's more focus on us again, get our game right, and we feel if we do that, we'll compete with anyone.
Hi John. Sticking with the name, obviously with Kane as well playing so well, has that sort of relaxed you a little bit with Richie in terms of recruitment? Because you've also said that door's open, obviously we've lost Jordan, but has that sort of eased your thinking with them to play well?
I think you're always looking to improve. Recruitment's really hard because you can only recruit what's out there. So you're always looking for depth. You're always looking to improve, and next week it might change again depending on how we get through the game. So it's not something that we've rushed at, and we won't rush at. It's when we see that somebody's available that can improve our squad, that's when we'll act.
What's obviously very happy with them too and how they started the season, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we're only one game in, mate. Most of your short-term recruitment is based around injuries and suspensions and the like. Long-term's a little bit different, especially with the age of the squad we have. We've got a few guys coming towards the end of their career, and so you're always looking a couple of years down. Well, you can recruit 12 months down the track now, so probably at the end of next year we'll have to look at replacing players. The older players are going to be ending their careers, but in the short term, it's just who's available.
So there's two strands of recruitment now, if you like, the short term and the focus for 2026 and beyond.
Yeah, exactly.
In terms of Catalan's trip then, so you've got a couple of days together, you're big on creating that connection and that cohesion within your squad, so did you get a good opportunity to do that now?
Yeah, it was good to watch. We weren't able to go on away for a pre-season camp this year, so we were away for 3 days together. We had a heap of fans go down with us. We had the ownership group go down with us, so it was just good to see how it all unfolded. At the end of the day, when you get a win, it makes for a great trip. But even if the result didn't go our way, I was really happy with the time they got to spend together, and that was what the main purpose of the trip was, to win the game, but it was also to connect as a group and come back stronger, and I think we did that.
Think of what actually led to the performance, obviously defensive attitude, especially in that first half. The two things go hand in hand though when you get a really tight-knit group.
Yeah, the more you feel connected with your mate, the harder you'll go, and I think that was on display pretty much for everyone to see. There was a lot of try-scoring opportunities, a lot of field position against us, a lot of possession against us, the weight of penalties went against us. There was so much that we could have used as an excuse at the end of the game, but they weren't going to have it. I was very happy to be involved and happy to be a part of a side that sort of plays that way.
How big is that for you? I appreciate it's only one game in, but those are things that Club FC have been heavily criticised in recent seasons for not doing. So to put them all into action, it must give everyone around the club a lot of confidence. Yeah,
it gets hard. It's very hard to do that every single week of the year. So it normally a really strong defensive team takes a while to build. It was a great start, but physically and mentally we have to be even better this week, I'd imagine, against a side that probably I'd say are favourites for the title. We can't rest on our laurels. We can't think that sort of effort's just going to happen again. It's a lot of hard work.
You touched on it on Friday night. You said there was a lot of areas where Hull could still improve. Spoke to John Wren on the phone yesterday. He said exactly the same thing. So, what are some of those areas that you've identified this week?
Look, it was a pretty dour game, and a lot of the time we were coming off our own try line, so it's very hard to throw any sort of football when you're pinned up against your try line all the time. If we can start the game stronger, be more disciplined with our penalties and our 6 to goes, that will sort of get us up the other end where we can play some bit more enterprising footy. I thought the chances that we got up the other end, we come up with some nice tries, but ideally we'd like to spend more time up there.
In terms of shape, was you happy with what you saw? A couple of tries led off John Osier in the season, which I suppose that's what we trained for.
Yeah, when we got an opportunity, they took it. They like I said, a lot of the football was dour, coming off our own try line. Hit up after hit up after hit up on the back of a lot of defence. It's early in the year. It's hard to get your football on when you're in those sort of situations. But as soon as we did get a little bit of relief with field position, I thought they held their shape really well, and we come up with some nice tries.
Going into Wigan, it's just same again, but up at another level.
Yeah, look, defensively they've been the benchmark for a long time. Very good on the ground. They have a lot of line speed, and they know what they're doing. History says they know what they're doing. So we're going to have a little bit of a different side this week. So it's certainly going to be a big challenge. But I can't think of anywhere else better to do it this Friday night.
Hey John, good win obviously. How did players react to that in training this week?
Look, as you can imagine, it's the boys that were here last year over the moon with it, and just as a squad, like I said, 3 months of work went into that game. So really, really happy. I would imagine it was a lot. Look, it was a long trip home. Late night, long trip home, early start the next day. So it was a it was good we had the weekend off to get ready, and the boys were very, very sore yesterday, so it was a bit of a lighter week. Had to have a little bit of a lighter week, but emotionally, really happy.
And in terms of this week's opponents, Wigan are probably going to be up there at the end of the season. Has it been a bit of a task, or not at all been a task in terms of keeping their feet on the ground for this week's game?
No, I think it's it's not a bad thing that we're playing Wigan, because just the name itself, you're going to be in for a tough night. But they're embracing, from what I can gather, they're embracing it, looking forward to it. Training, whilst we've tried to hold back, they've gone hard. Just excited to be first home game for everyone as a team. Like I said, there will be a few new faces out there, but everyone's looking forward to it.
And John Asiata mentioned last week about the senior players being role models for the younger players in the team. Obviously, I think that was evident from the game on Friday evening. Again, that must be pleasing to see from your side that they are picking up and building in their own confidence.
Yeah, it's something that we pushed hard on them early, and it's something that we don't really have to talk about too much now. They're just taking it up themselves, and it's now they're just enjoying each other's company. They're liking spending time together. There's a few boys have to travel, but when they get together, you can see the enjoyment, you can hear the enjoyment, and we're fortunate we've got really good leaders and good senior players around those younger boys.
And again, you mentioned it was a bit of a dour game, but from a fan's perspective, defended well under some tough circumstances at times. Made very few mistakes and was clinical when we did get them opportunities. Again, from your perspective, that must be a great thing to see also.
Yeah, it's everything you train for, you talk about. It's easy to talk about how you want to win a game. It's hard to implement it, and because it hurts. It's hard and it's tough. The energy and the effort that went into protecting our try line is what won us the game. If they had come up with a try there at some point, who knows how the game would have turned. There's a lot of big moments in games, and if you win those big moments in the game, you generally get a result at the end of the day. I think we did so much defence, then we were able to turn them around, score a try, and then we went bang bang. So at 18-0 against a side who had most of the ball and most of the field position, it was very pleasing at half time.
And in them first 20 minutes in the game, was there a point where you think there was a change of tactic from yourself? Did you think you had to mix it up a bit to stop us getting under that pressure?
No, I don't think we changed tactics. I think we forced them into a few errors. They had to take some risks to score points. I think the try save in the corner with Lewis Martin and Jordan was a major turning point. They got a penalty on the back of that, and we were able to hold them out again. And I think we actually really grew from that moment. And I think Catalan's maybe that took a bit out of them, not being able to score a try with all that possession. And I think we scored not long after that. So that can really hurt you as a home team with a crowd behind you, and you had all the ball and you end up behind on the scoreboard.
Thanks for your time, John. All the best this week.
Thank you. Good.
Just one more from me, John. The Challenge Cup draw was made as well. When you saw away at Wigan, what did you think?
Yeah, well, they don't get any tougher, do they? But you got to play somebody. You got to beat everyone to win the Challenge Cup. I always look at the positive side. If we knock Wigan away in a Challenge Cup round game, it just gives us enormous confidence going forward.
Means you don't